guest brought 30 different kinds of these posters at a yard sale for $20. Of the 30, these 4 are of notable interest to the appraiser. These 4 pictures share certain similarities. First, they were all for Pan American Airlines. Also, they are made by the same artist, A. Amspoker. They are also silk screens. Lastly, they don't feature photographs of the aircraft. They were made in the 1950s.
The Pacific and New Zealand, we see Europe, we see Asia, we see South America, so it really is like a broad sampling of the entire network.
These pieces are popular amongst collectors for several reasons. One is the exotic nature of the locations and the imagery captured on the posters.
The other thing that makes these posters collectible is that there is a whole subset of collectors who really are passionate about Pan Am. People collect these not just for the imagery, not just for the destinations, but also because they are Pan Am-iana.
Appraiser values them at,
I would estimate each one of these between $600 and $900. Right? So the group of just these 4 would be between $2,400 and $3,600.
Wow.
Item is a belle epoque brooch dating back to around 1910, manufactured in Newark, New Jersey. It is crafted from 14-karat gold and features angel skin coral and pearls. The appraiser estimates its value to be around $3,500 to $4,000 if sold in a store today, noting its exquisite design and historical significance. The guest is thrilled by the appraisal, mentioning that their grandmother would have loved to hear about it. They express excitement about wearing the brooch. The guest brought a collection of Golden Bridge memorabilia, including banners and a ticket he found in his father's drawer. The Golden Gate Bridge was built with the help of President Roosevelt's New Deal program, the Works Progress Administration. Franklin D. Roosevelt was the 32nd President of the United States, serving from 1933 to 1945. After 4 years of construction, the public reaction to the completion of the Golden Gate Bridge was a mixture of excitement and admiration.
There were like 18,000 people waiting in line to get across the bridge, and I think the whole day there were 200,000 folks that actually walked across that bridge that day.
The Golden Gate Bridge was officially opened from May 27th to June 2nd, 1937. First day was Pedestrian Day. The banner's wolf fringe at the end parts and the symbol for the city of San Francisco makes it unique. More so because the inscriptions were in English and Spanish.
And you have the symbol for the city of San Francisco with the dates of the Golden Gate Bridge opening.
Would the guest like to sell it? No, as the items are priceless. The appraiser valued the ticket to range between $30 to $50, and the banners worth $500 each.
So I thank you for bringing them in, and I just love them.
Great, thanks very much.
A touching story of how the Grover campaign Spencerian drawing was passed down through her family, adding to its sentimental value. The painting was done by Williams Ainsworth with pen and ink. It was done as a symbol for the Democratic Party campaign piece for Grover Cleveland in 1892. The vibrant colors earn the item a fabulous figure. The moral prescription on it makes the painting spectacular. The appraiser admired the painting. The estimated value ranges between $10,000 to $15,000.
Okay. So would you keep the frame?
The frame is an original frame, yes, absolutely.
So you got to keep the frame?
Got to keep the frame.
Okay.
We now take a look at this beautiful Tiffany poppy lamp. The guest received this lamp, among other things, from her late stepsister's estate. The poppy design is very popular, coming in various shapes and sizes. This piece is a 20-inch cone. This very design was first introduced in the Tiffany 1906 catalog as a poppy cone.
Actually, when you went to Tiffany Studios in 1906, you could pick your own shade and your own base.
This base, however, seems not to have been made in 1906, as it doesn't appear in the catalog. The base and cone were most likely made together.
One, the gilded finish that you see. Also, the way the shade is signed, because the interior of the shade says Tiffany Studios, N period, Y period, and then the corresponding number that you would see in the catalog.
Right.
The signing format started in 1910, so the base and the shade were made together. All the parts of the lamp are original, except the sockets. This slightly devalues the piece, as collectors go for all originals. In this state, the lamp is valued at about
$70,000 to $90,000 on this lamp.
Very nice. Daughters wear it in their wedding.
Are you shocked?
I'm stunned.
Tiffany & Company, where elegance meets craftsmanship. This famous saying comes to light with this very piece. This natural pearl and diamond necklace is one exquisite Tiffany creation. Once owned by the guest husband's grandmother, this lovely necklace dates to around 1910. It's doubly signed with the Tiffany signature, one here and the other at the back of the clasp. One special property of the necklace is the natural pearls and not the diamonds. The pearls are of different sizes, combining to create a lovely piece.
Almost 10 millimeters, which is big. And then it graduates from around 6.5 down to 3.5. But each pearl is beautiful, the luster.
These two pearls, which fell out of the necklace, are of significant value.
Yes, these little pearls, they're probably $5,000. Do not lose these.
The appraiser provides retail and insurance values of the necklace.
$100,000.
No way.
To insure and replace at $200,000.
I'll have my daughters wear it in their wedding.
Are you shocked?
I'm stunned.
Where's my brother? Wow, that's unbelievable. I had no idea.
Next, we look at these Tiffany vases and box crate. During the Depression, this guest grandmother went on a spree of buying Tiffany merchandise, some coming by a crate load.
A dress. The crate in itself, it's something you don't see very often, with glass plastered all over the sides.
The first vase is commonly called pastel glass. It's one of the later produced Tiffany products made in the 20s and in various colors. This other piece is a paperweight glass vase. It was first introduced in 1914. At the bottom of the vase, it is stated exhibition piece.
From the date letter, which is a suffix L, that would be somewhere around 1915. So it's possible that this could have gone to the 1915 San Francisco International Exhibition.
There are many of these kinds of vases in museums around the world. Inside the crate, there's still a hidden treasure left to be unraveled. This lava vase is an extremely special Tiffany creation.
Extremely special. It is meant to look like molten lava on the surface of the vase. And this one is particularly interesting.
These vases were usually difficult to make, as they usually get cracked in the making. On inspection, it's in exceptionally good condition. These pieces are valued at about...
In a retail setting, this is something for Tiffany geeks everywhere, collectors, museums. They would actually be very excited about this, and it would be worth between $5,000 and $10,000. This piece would retail in probably between $2,000 and $3,000. In a retail shop, it could be sold for anywhere between $50,000 and $75,000. An example like this, $100,000 and $150,000.
Where's my brother? Wow, that's unbelievable. I had no idea.
Which one of the items caught your eye? Let us know in the comments. It reflects the wealth and taste of the guest great-grandmother. This lovely necklace has been in the Guest family for many years and was passed down from her great-grandmother. Another of Tiffany's masterpieces, this necklace dates to the early 1900s, between 1900 and 1908. Both the front and back of the pendant are beautifully designed and crafted. At the center is a black opal.
Most people are more familiar with the common white opals, but this makes it a much more expensive piece. Black opal is considerably more rare.
The green stones are Russian demantoid garnets, the rarest form of green garnets available. All these contribute significantly to the value of this necklace. This historic Louis Comfort Tiffany jewelry is valued at about
$30,000 to $40,000.
I can't believe it.
What do you think the value would be? Let me know.
That's unbelievable and a surprise.
Next is another stunning piece of Tiffany jewelry. This pendant watch necklace belonged to the guest mother-in-law. This necklace is from the Edwardian period. It was made by Tiffany and Company. The chain consists of about 7 carats of diamonds.
You have this beautiful, delicate chain of collet set, old European cut diamonds, and then with these pretty marquise-shaped links.
While the beautiful emerald cut stone weighs about 2.5 carats. We then drop into this exquisitely made pendant.
The filigree work and the diamond setting is beautifully done. Then you see this gorgeous engraving all along the border.
The other side of the pendant reveals the watch. The appraiser values it at about
$40,000 to $60,000.
That's unbelievable and a surprise.
sapphires gleaming like midnight skies, surrounded by dazzling diamonds that twinkle like stars. The guest received this diamond and sapphire bracelet from her husband. The bracelet was designed by Tiffany and Company in 1960. Even after many years have passed, individuals continue to be captivated by the timeless elegance and beauty of the famous Tiffany and Company design.
Diamond and sapphire bracelet, and it's set in platinum. That's what the white metal is. The diamonds are really, really beautiful. It's a mix of 3 different shapes.
Oh, okay.
They've got some rounds.
Right.
And then the pointy ones are called marquise, and then the rectangular ones are called baguettes.
They combine with the sapphires to give a flower-like appearance. There are about 20 carats of diamonds in this bracelet. The sapphires are in this perfect blue color. The contrast between the deep blue sapphires and the sparkling diamonds creates a mesmerizing dance of colors and light. The appraiser values it at
$40,000 and $50,000 at auction.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
Next piece is a Louis C. Tiffany Furnaces ink vase. The vase belonged to the guest's great-grandmother and was given as a birthday gift to her. Made by L.C. Tiffany Inc. in 1926, this vase is of an unusual kind. It is a piece of case glass, meaning several layers of glass had been added to make the piece.
The interior is almost like a brownish cherry color, and then the exterior that's sort of peeking out underneath this matte finish decoration appears to almost be like an agate finish.
It is art glass, and ironically not made to be used as a vase. This lovely piece is valued at about
$30,000 and $50,000.
Oh my God.
Wow. Wow, I had no idea.
So far, this has been my favorite piece. Which Tiffany item do you like best so far? Let me know in the comments. Piece of buried treasure. This lamp was found abandoned in the dirt basement of the house where the guest's grandmother worked in the 50s. This is a Tiffany Studios Lotus Bell table lamp.
Lotus shade itself is supposed to resemble a lotus leaf opening up. And the lotus design came in 2 different forms.
Also, in a flat shape around 25 to 26 inches in diameter. It is stamped and numbered at the bottom of the base. The numbering indicates that it was made between 1902 and 1904.
Additionally, on the shade, there's a teeny little tag that is stamped Tiffany Studios, New York. That tag was usually applied to a shade between 1902 and 1904.
The patina on the leading on the shade doesn't match the patina on the base. This is also not the original Tiffany switch.
What you would normally find on this kind of base would be a matching little ribbed switch, which basically echoes what's going on in the fluted design on the base.
Also, the sockets have been changed, and that affects the value. In its current state, it's valued at about
$35,000 to $45,000.
It's exciting. I love buried treasure.
Me too.
So it was a very generous gift.
Oh my God, I owe him a big dinner in Paris.
This beauty is not your average candle holder. It's a work of art. The guest friends bought this years ago at a garage sale. This piece is made from bronze and likely dates back to around 1905. Tiffany Studios are really at the forefront of the Art Nouveau movement. The leaves are extraordinary, each one a unique individual, stemming from the base. The stem displays grace and elegance, exuding class. The cast features intricate details and unique design, showcasing a rare saxifrage pattern. This rare collection is valued at $20,000 to $25,000.
So it was a very generous gift.
Oh my God, I owe him a big dinner in Paris.
Big dinner.
This special with this Tiffany & Company mixed metal and mokume tray. A lover of Tiffany products, this guest bought this tray in the mid-'70s at an antique show in Atlanta. She paid $95 for the tray. This piece is particularly interesting as it is made with mixed metal. It dates from the year 1878, and it's of a particular type of design called Japanesque.
The Japanesque design occurred about the 1870s or so. It coincided with the opening up of trade to Japan.
Tiffany imitated some of the Japanese designs, and this is one of them. It comes in a wonderful gourd shape, which is a highly unusual shape. The base of the tray is made of copper. One special feature of this gourd is this mixed metal called mokume. These pieces are very rare. It, however, has some condition issues.
The background is not uniform in color. What would be appropriate for it is if it were all this sort of nice red color.
Exactly.
In this state, it's valued at about
like $20,000 to $25,000 at auction.
Well, very interesting. Okay, I'm pretty excited about that. Mine, $90.
You should be. It is absolutely superb.
This engraved jewelry belongs to the guest's great-great-great-grandmother, another of Louis Comfort Tiffany's masterpieces. This jewelry was made by the company around 1876. On the reverse side of the necklace is the Tiffany stamp, and also the engraving. One unique feature of this necklace is that it has very strong Japanese influence in it, a feat very rare with Tiffany pieces. It, however, was common in other jewelry houses, such as Cartier and Lalique, from around 1867 to 1917. This necklace is made in 18-karat gold and platinum. It's valued at about
$55,000 and $60,000.
Shocked.
You should be. It is absolutely superb.
Diamonds are truly a woman's best friend. This stunning piece has been used by 4 generations of women in the Guest family. It's another one of Tiffany & Company's masterpieces. This pendant and Tiffany diamond necklace can be adorned as solely a necklace or changed into a brooch or a lorgnette. The pendant has 2 large old mine diamonds and platinum diamonds. The large old mine diamonds weigh about a carat each. The piece is all handmade, and being platinum, it was probably made around 1920. This beautiful piece is valued at
$30,000 to $40,000.
Wow.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
Holy moly. I don't believe it. Oh my gosh.
This necklace was gifted by the guest by a woman her family took in while ill. It is a peridot and diamond necklace. This necklace is made of 18-karat yellow gold.
And then in the center, you have what we call a peridot. Peridots being green and very beautiful. They're not particularly expensive stones.
The diamonds are set in free form around the edge. They are mixed in color, some in white, yellow, and a bit of champagne. At the back, there is the beautiful canotile type of wire work, all done by hand. Although marked Tiffany & Company, this piece strongly indicates that it was made by Louis Comfort Tiffany. This lovely necklace is valued at
$20,000 to $30,000.
Holy moly. I don't believe it. Oh my gosh. My gosh. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Kathy, thank you so much. I can't believe it.
The next piece has great sentimental value to the Guest family. Fondly called Brain Lamp, this lamp belonged to the Guest grandmother and brings fond memories of the time spent in her house. This is a turtleneck tile iridescent glass.
The glass is thinner than you would see in other items of bigger form, a little bit thin. It's usually not signed. I will never say never, but it's usually not signed.
Attached to it is this lovely bronze base. It is a patinated bronze and is down to the feet with the lily pad. It is signed with the Tiffany Studios mark at the bottom, and it dates to around 1910.
This chain has been put on here later. This is a process that can be reversed to make it the way it was originally, which should get done to the piece.
This slightly devalues it. In this state, it is valued at about
$30,000 to $40,000.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Picture your cigars stored in this elegant 1908 Tiffany & Company equestrian humidor, exuding sophistication and style. The guest mother bought this Belmont trophy for her husband. John C. Moore II was the director of Tiffany's factory where this trophy was made. This exquisite silver presentation piece is related to horse racing, adding a touch of elegance. It is a lovely Tiffany silver piece that would attract Tiffany collectors and those interested in equestrian items. Also, it includes a beautiful original presentation box that has the Tiffany & Company emblem inside. The piece is silver and weighs over 200 ounces. At auction, this beautiful piece is valued at about
$30,000 and $40,000 in today's current auction.
Wow, that's amazing.
In the 19th century, husbands would often give their wives a gift upon the birth of a child. This beautiful hardstone cameo parure was retailed by Tiffany & Company. This parure is a collection of different pieces of jewelry, such as a bracelet, earrings, and brooch. Cameos are carved either out of shell or out of stone. The harder the stone, the more valuable its beautifully articulated cameos become. The unique features of this cameo are its absolute thickness and dimensional quality. Based on the carvings and type of goldwork, it is Italian jewelry from the 1860s to the 1870s. The other thing about this piece here is the cuff buttons. A set of this scale and magnitude, the particular gold value here is 14 carats. The appraiser values it at about
$25,000 and $35,000.
Okay. Great.
Do you still retain your stance on your favorite piece, or have you found a new love? Let me know in the comments. On-star sapphire ring. This ring, and other items, were part of the inheritance this guest received from her grandmother. Named after the wonderful Sri Lankan island Ceylon, where the stone was found, this blue stone is roughly about 25 carats. It dates to around 1922.
All platinum, all diamonds, and if you notice, in the back here, it's all set with diamonds underneath.
The diamonds are most times not visible from the top. Affiliated with Tiffany, and also being a deco-style piece, these properties significantly increase its value. The appraiser values it at about
$25,000 to $35,000.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. My children will be happy to know that.
Maybe I better insure it. That's probably an excellent idea.
Next on the list is this lovely glass vase. It has been in the guest mother's family for a very long time. Made by Tiffany, this vase is made of a special glass known as Cypriot glass. This is a type of glass characterized by the irregular pitted in texture surface seen on the vase. It was meant to replicate how the excavated Roman glass looked when it was discovered. This piece dates to the 1920s, as it is regarded as a later piece. The earlier pieces were mostly blue, purple, gold, and sometimes green on the surface.
The other thing that's unusual about this is it has a clear bottom that's been applied, a clear foot. The other two pieces that I've seen didn't have this applied foot.
The signature and the numbering on the foot dates this piece to between 1926 and 1929. It is a very rare and desirable piece. The appraiser values it at about $30,000.
Maybe I better insure it. That's probably an excellent idea.
Is this fine Tiffany Studios piece. The daffodil lampshade was found in the garage of the guest's late father's office. Being a signed Tiffany piece mostly never guarantees authenticity, as there are numerous counterfeits available. This, however, is an authentic Tiffany shade, as there are several identifiers.
It wasn't the signature that I was paying attention to. What I was looking at was the glass that was used, the way that it was constructed, the pattern, the finish, and that's on top of the leading.
This all indicates that it's authentic. Also, when lightly tapped, there's a slight rattle. The shade probably rested on a base that had arms, as it seemed to be made for a fuel lamp. It dates to around 1905. The shade is valued at about
$25,000 and $30,000.
You're kidding.
Not at all. I'm not kidding.
Made by Tiffany Studios. This fixture is not just a piece of decor, it's a statement and work of art that transcends time. This fixture has small pieces of Tiffany glass enclosed in delicate metal frames, intertwined by connecting links. The original cap of this piece attached to the link is in good condition. Tiffany was captivated by Moorish designs, and many of his fixtures were inspired by this style. This type of patterning seen in the draped glass is known as chainmail. The appraiser values this piece at
$20,000 and $25,000.
Wow, that's wonderful.
brings this lovely Tiffany inkwell, which belonged to his aunt. This is a rare mosaic inkwell, as only a limited number were made. The inset glass tile in various pieces usually differs.
I've seen them with Cypriot glass tile. I've seen them with the tile that looks a little more like this. But one of the things that I've always noticed is that the color gradates. It's usually a little brighter at the top, and then it gets darker as it approaches the bottom.
This piece has some certain condition issues. 2 tiles on the lower end are missing. Also, the top of the inkwell is slightly depressed. It is signed at the bottom and also on the underside of this liner. In this state, it is valued at about $20,000 to $25,000.
Wow.
So
it's a lot of ink.
This guest brings a rare Tiffany & Company GMT Master Rolex watch. It belonged to his uncle, who gifted him the watch as a going-to-college gift in 1975. This watch is an earlier version of the GMT Master Series. Checking the serial number, it's said to be made between 1963 and 1964. It has a few unique features.
That are really very interesting. One of them is at the very bottom of the writing, there's a little line, it's underlined.
Also, it's unusual to have the Tiffany name on the dial. This is a co-branded watch, having both the Tiffany and Rolex names on the dial.
Tiffany no longer sells Rolex watches. They used to sell Rolex watches, but one day Rolex decided that they didn't want to print the Tiffany name on the dials anymore.
So the fact that this watch has the Tiffany name on its dial adds to its collectability. In this state, this watch is valued at about
$50,000.
Oh, good grief. That is absolutely stunning to me.
Piece is a Tiffany cold air return cover. The guest inherited it from a friend. This cover is said to be out of the house of Henry O. Havemeyer. Havemeyer, who was famously regarded as the Sugar King, was an American industrialist, entrepreneur, and sugar refiner who founded and became president of the American Sugar Refining Company in 1891. In the 1890s, he contracted Tiffany Glass and Decorating Company to do the interior decoration of his home at 5th Avenue and 66th Street. This air return cover is said to be one of the pieces Tiffany used to beautify the house.
the reason why it looks particularly beautiful today is that we have put plate behind it, which you wouldn't ordinarily see in the shaft where the piece was initially installed.
The palette was in various colors: blue, green, silver, and gold. After the passing of Havemeyer and his wife, his house was slated to be demolished. An auction was done on the house's contents, of which this was one. This piece is like a Tiffany artifact and appeals greatly to collectors. It's valued at about
$45,000 and $50,000.
Really?
Yes, really.
Really?
Don't think I'll be wearing it to any PTA meetings.
This guest brings this lovely jewelry, which belonged to her great-grandmother. Made by Tiffany & Company, this necklace dates to around the mid-1870s. It comes with these lovely graduated panels and this applied wirework design motif.
In the mid-1870s, there's a style called archaeological revival. And in that period, twisted wirework and little beadwork was very, very popular.
Tiffany picked up this design pattern and added it to her pieces. Another aspect of this necklace is that it represents the aesthetic period of Tiffany's designs. This period had a Japanese influence on the pieces.
The decorative motifs of these panels, how they're extending out as if they're almost screens or Japanese panels as well.
The alternating panels here have also been patented to help give the piece dimension. At the back, it is signed, and although not tested, it's most likely made of 18-karat gold. This lovely necklace is valued at about...
Find this piece in a high-end store somewhere in the $40,000 to $50,000 range in today's market.
I don't think I'll be wearing it to any PTA meetings.
This piece gives the guest the surprise of her life. She bought this lovely mirror at a yard sale in Hurley, New Mexico for $2. This is called a peacock mirror. It was made by Tiffany Studios in 1905. These rare mirrors were made in at least 4 different shapes and sizes.
This is one of the smaller sizes, one of the less elaborate versions of it.
There are beautiful chased bronze works depicting peacock feathers consistent all around the bottom, and they're inset with glass.
You have 2 types of Tiffany glass in there. You have the leaded glass that you'd see in a window or in a lamp, but also you have this beautiful reflective glass that was used in mosaics.
The peacock feather design continues along the edge of the mirror, and the back is completely chased. This peacock design is in the consummate Art Nouveau motif. It is in pretty good condition.
You have the original beveled mirror inset in here, and it has lost some of the silvering behind it, but I would never recommend changing it.
This lovely Tiffany mirror is valued at about...
for $25,000.
My God, I had no idea he would have.
What a great piece of business, don't you think? Of women's art. She prided herself on knowing a lot about women's art until she stumbled upon this curious piece. This painting was the first time she had seen a poster from the women's suffragette movement, and even after her research, a lot was still unknown about it. The women's suffragette movement was a movement in the 1900s aimed at giving women the right to vote. This was actualized when the 19th Amendment was passed in 1920. It was popularized in Europe before its effects trickled down to America. And for this reason, there are more posters and art about the suffragettes in Europe than in America. This painting was an original created by Evelyn Rumsey Carey, who was the first American artist to make art about women's suffrage in America. This painting was a landmark moment in America, and the quote on it became a famous quote among the suffragettes. The quote was from the Bible, and it was Proverbs 31:31. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. Evelyn Rumsey Carey created many more paintings, but none were as monumental as this one. The guest bought this piece for $50 to $75, and even though the piece is no longer in perfect condition, because of its rarity and its social importance, the appraiser estimated the painting to be worth $10,000 to $15,000 in 2008. In 2023, the value increased to $12,000.
Excited because it's real.
The guest arrived with the 20th century Widecombe funerary mask. She got it from her sister. Her sister's boyfriend was having bad dreams because of it. Her sister said her boyfriend doesn't want it. The appraiser said it was a Widecombe funerary mask. It would be worn at funerals. Widecombe is a tribe in the northern border of Nigeria and Cameroon. It's a wooden form, and animal skin is stretched over it. This has a few condition problems here and there.
The wear down here and on the sides is exactly what you'd expect. Cheeks, chins.
The mask is missing a few teeth, again trying to make the mask look ferocious. It is red in the mouth, around the teeth, which just makes it look a little bit bloody. If in good condition, this could be worth as much as $3,500.
And I'm so excited because it's real.
The guest arrived with the crystal ball paperweight clock. She got it from her grandma when her grandma died in 1988. The appraiser said it's a ball watch or a desk clock designed to sit on a gentleman's desk. This is Swiss-made, sometime around the turn of the century. It tells the day of the month and the day of the week. Also, it provides information on the lunar calendar or the phases of the moon. In addition to that, it tells the time on the side.
What's really special about it is the fact that it has the time in 7 cities across the globe.
It's a very unusual feature to have this type of dial on the back of it. It's probably a $1,200 to $1,500 watch, or in a retail shop for around $2,500.
Wow, I love it.
The guest brings this beautiful etching to the show. This piece was given to her as a first birthday gift from her late father. The etching was made by the artist Joan Miró. Miró was a Spanish painter, sculptor, and ceramicist born in Barcelona. He moved to Paris in the 1920s. Paris at this time was brimming with the artistic talents of the likes of Gertrude Stein, Pablo Picasso, and Ernest Hemingway. These are books where an author and an artist will collaborate to produce something essential to the story.
It wasn't just a matter of an artist illustrating a book that he'd read.
The etching is one of 23 images that Miró made for a series called The Ring of Dawn by the poet René Crevel. It is a numbered piece, being the 37th of the 60 pieces made. The appraiser values it at about...
If you were to put this up at auction today, you could expect it to bring $6,000 to $8,000.
Really?
Yes.
Took us back to memory lane with this Beatles poster and ticket that he bought in 1966. The Beatles was a popular English rock band comprising of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. This iconic poster was printed for the Cleveland concert, which was considered one of the wildest concerts. The fans broke loose and invaded the field. This is a very rare Beatles poster that would still be worth around $3,000 to $5,000, while the original ticket from the concert would be estimated between $150 to $250.
Really? It's yours. Oh, the auction. Well, great.
Showcased 3 dolls that had been in their family since the 1800s. The dolls belonged to her great-great-grandmother, then were handed down to her daughters, and have remained in the family since. The appraiser identified the dolls as China dolls, made of glazed porcelain. All 3 dolls were made in Germany around 1850 to 1860. The doll closest to the appraiser was the oldest, followed by the center doll, with the doll with the bald head being the youngest. The appraiser highlighted the doll's characteristics, such as hairstyle and eye colors, and pointed out that the brown-eyed ones were the most desirable.
Now, the brown-eyed dolls in this type of doll is more rare and more desirable.
Moreover, the doll closest to the appraiser is in the best condition when compared.
The doll closest to you, the center doll does not have its original body. Now, the doll closest to me has everything she should have. She has her original body, her original arms.
The overall estimated value for all 3 dolls is about $3,300 to $4,300.
Whoa.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
All I can do is say thank you.
Regarded as the stuff Tiffany's dreams are made of, this next piece reflects the elegance associated with the Tiffany name. This lamp belonged to the guest's grandfather. It was one of the 4 lamps his grandfather purchased from the Tiffany studios in 1915. This very lamp cost $90 and was used as his family dining room lamp.
This lamp is the stuff that Tiffany dreams are made of. It has everything going for it. It's in fabulous condition. It's had 2 owners, your grandfather and then you.
Yes.
And it came directly from Tiffany Studios.
The lamp comes in its original patina. It also retains its original hardware. Most hanging shades today are without their original hardware. It's called a turtle back glass lamp. These lamps were made in different colors, green, red, and yellow. This lovely lamp is valued at around $250,000.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
All I can do is say thank you.
Precious gift to remember. These Tiffany lamps were gifted to the guest by a late dear friend. Made by Tiffany, these lamps are of a certain style. They are usually regarded as geometric lamps, but they have a little bit of decorations, making them a combination. The larger floor lamp has a geometric background, and the smaller lamp is decorated. Both lamps indicate to be early Tiffany pieces, as they date to around 1905. One indication is the large shade with very transparent glass. Another is that beneath the cap it is signed and also bears a number with a hyphen. The sockets have been replaced, but these don't affect the value.
Both of of these lamps. A lot of times these get lost, but these are the originals, which is a very nice bonus to have. And even the original caps have a lot of value today.
Really? The floor lamp has a senior floor base, which is decorated. It's the second of the two kinds of decorated floor bases. Both lamps are valued at about
$85,000. And on this one, I would put an insurance value of $45,000.
In 2022, they were collectively valued at $170,000.
Flabbergasted. Unbelievable. Speechless. Whew. Wow.
This next piece is of great sentimental value to the owner. The guest showed great persistence in acquiring this piece. He bought this piece from Lillian Nassau's antique store in New York after constantly persuading Lillian to sell it, as it had a not-for-sale sticker attached to it. On the fourth try, he convinced her, and he got this piece for $15,000. This happened around January of 1980. This piece, which is a mosaic with an iridized frog and two beautiful poppies, was made by Tiffany Studios around 1905. The mosaic piece is very rare, and a few single compositions exist. The frog depiction, with tiny pieces, looked like a similar work Tiffany did in Marshall Fields.
There were a series of mosaics depicting the signs of the zodiacs, and each animal or sign was fashioned in much the same way as this frog.
The poppies figure into lamps, as often seen in Oriental poppy lamps. One fascinating feature of Tiffany mosaics, including this one, is that they are made of opalescent and translucent glass, instead of the opaque glass used in the 19th century mosaics.
By using translucent and opalescent glass, you have much more of a sense of depth. And the coloration is very beautiful. It enabled you to use lots of different colors.
These black outlines that have been used seem to be pieces of acid-washed glass, lacking reflective abilities. These outlines make the figures more pronounced. This mosaic is valued at about
$100,000 and $150,000.
Flabbergasted. Unbelievable. Speechless. Whew. Wow.
This beautifully designed lamp was brought by the guest for appraisal. The Tiffany fish lamp has been in the guest father's family for quite some time, belonging to their great-great-aunt. This lamp, which is made by the company Tiffany, is a very unique work of art. The lamp, which is called a fish lamp, is made up of different kinds of colored glass material, giving a beautiful outcome.
You can see that there are fish swimming. The glass that these fish are designed with enhances the fish themselves, which are iridescent, and then they're swimming through glass, which is rippled and gives it the look of water.
The different glasses used enhance the design of the lamp.
Not only the rippled glass, but also some glass that is striated and some glass that has different colors in it.
The appraiser gives information on the value of Tiffany lamps.
The value of a Tiffany lamp is not in the base as a general rule. The value is in the shade.
The lamp is valued at
a Tiffany lamp of this type, because of its rarity and because of the unusualness of the form and the style, would sell on today's market in the vicinity of $100,000. It's a wonderful lamp.
In 2012, the value rose to $175,000. I estimate a price range of between $180,000 to $200,000 in today's market. What do you think? Brought in a rifle made by his great-great-grandfather, who ran a gun shop. Identified as Welcome Mathewson, he was known as one of the top gunsmiths in early 19th century New England. His rifles were of exceptionally high quality and rarity. The rifle showcased his name, intricate silver inlay, and escutcheon, along with a finely made cherry stock. Additionally, the guest had a powder horn signed by Mathewson, with beautiful decorations. The guest also had Mathewson's account book, which detailed his work repairing and making guns. The rifle, powder horn, and account book made the guest collection highly desirable among collectors. How much would the item be valued?
If I had the package,
I'd want $100,000, $120,000 for it.
This is a Tiffany lamp which was purchased by the guest grandfather as an anniversary gift to his parents. He bought it in 1909 for around $50. This is a Tiffany leaded glass and patinated bronze table lamp. This is a poinsettia pattern, with the red-colored poinsettias evenly distributed.
This is an 18-inch shade, which is a very good shade size. Good coloration, green and yellow, and the red flowers throughout.
On the shade, there's the Tiffany stamp, and also 2 tensioning rings. The base also has the Tiffany stamp and is numbered.
Poinsettia is a good collectible shade, and this is a twisting kind of trunk form base, beautiful base, very desirable for collectors.
This piece is valued at about $50,000 to $75,000. Next is this beautiful Tiffany lamp. It belonged to the guest father-in-law, who bought it around 1928. This is a Tiffany Studios 12-light lily lamp. It was also famously called Pond Lily by Tiffany.
The reason why he said pond lily, you can see the little lily pads down here that cluster around the stems, leading up to these beautiful glass shades which are resembling flowers.
It comes with its lovely patina, all original. The original finish is quite rare, as most get stripped over the years. It dates to between 1902 and 1915.
The shades, which are the most valuable part of the lamp, are all intact.
This beautiful lamp is valued at about $50,000 to $60,000. A stunning silver plaque, engraved with your name and the special date. This beautiful collection by Tiffany was made for the guest great-great-grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary. The inner workings and the casing are crafted from solid gold, gleaming with opulence. Now, the outer casing is a gilt bronze, gold-plated bronze. On the back, there's a Tiffany & Company mark, along with the Union Square address. The plaque is in wonderful condition overall. The appraiser values it at
Between $15,000 and $20,000.
Oh my goodness.
Prior Hamblin School, a group of painters working in Boston in the mid-19th century. The Prior Hamblin School was known for its folk art style, characterized by animated faces and a lively, colorful quality. During the 1840s and 1850s, when this painting was likely created, there was a demand for portraits that captured a more lively and natural appearance. It contrasts to early photography, which required subjects to sit still for extended periods. The painting's portrayal likely appealed to the sitter's desire for an engaging image. In terms of value, the painting is estimated to be worth between $8,000 to $12,000.
Wow.
We kick off this series with this lovely Tiffany lamp. The guest mother purchased it after seeing the ad in a local newspaper. She bought it for $125. Made by Tiffany & Company, a company renowned for its luxury jewelry, silverware, crystal, and other high-end accessories, this lamp surely matches the Tiffany standard. It was made in around 1905. It comes in a rose helmet shade, so called because it comes in the shape of a helmet. The base, which is of rare design, has a wonderful Art Nouveau quality to it. The design, called arc and leaf, comprises various styled leaf forms that go around the edge and extend to the top of the base. Under the shade is coated with gold leadings. This leading also matches the gold on the base.
I have to say that the base is really unusual. I can count on one hand how many times I've seen this base.
This rare, beautiful lamp is valued at
$80,000 and $125,000. Mom had a good eye. Congratulations.
In 2021, its value rose to a sum of $250,000 to $300,000. What a good piece of business, don't you think? The list is this limited edition Tiffany aquamarine glass vase. This vase was bought in the early 30s by the guest parents at an estate sale in New Haven, Connecticut. This particular glass was made at Tiffany around 1914. The glass, which is called aquamarine glass, resembles seawater.
When they first made this, they put a lot of aquatic life in it. Later on, they added flowers to it.
Only a few of these glasses were made, as it was relatively expensive to produce.
This was very costly to make because a lot of the pieces broke.
Only Tiffany made aquamarine glasses because of the complexity of the production process. It's valued at about $100,000 to $110,000.
Pretty good.
A fascinating piece of Chicago's history. This Tiffany Studio stained glass panel belonged to Marshall Field's Men's Grill restaurant. In 1948, during the restaurant remodeling, a friend of the guest, who was part of the remodeling team, took some glass and gave it to her. This piece can be matched with the photos from the restaurant. This is a unique piece of Tiffany stained glass.
Trying to adapt to the style of the great Chicago glassmakers and architecture.
It has more of a prairie style. The appraiser talks about appraising such items.
Back around the turn of the century, Marshall Fields put in a men's grill restaurant.
It's valued at about $60,000 to $80,000.
Thank you. Well, thank you for coming. It's just wonderful to see.
Oh,
and I really
very
appreciate
much.
it.
Next is this lovely Tiffany & Company silver collection. This set belonged to the guest's great aunt, and it came to her when she died. All four of these beautifully made Tiffany pieces were made between 1873 and 1891.
They represent why the Tiffany name is so renowned. You can take away the decoration, just the handling of the metal, this hammering just makes beautiful facets. It's all sparkling like a diamond.
These pieces represent the aesthetic movement. This movement was a style of decoration that looked towards Asia and the East. This item is most likely a custom-made piece.
The reason I know that is it has an acid-etched monogram, but over the top of the monogram, they've placed these monkey figures. This was expensive when it was purchased.
This piece with the frog is of fine quality and made with top-notch American silversmithing. This lovely silver collection is collectively valued at around $35,000 to $40,000.
So it's.
What do you think?
Holy mackerel. So you really hit the spot today. You knew what to pick.
I almost didn't bring it.
Yellow diamonds are so unique and eye-catching, making them a perfect choice for a piece of jewelry. This is a rare collection of Tiffany & Company. This yellow diamond pendant dates between 1918 and 1920. The guest received this beautiful piece from her grandmother. This jewelry was designed by Louis Comfort because it has a wonderful wire work. This jewelry is an old European cut pear-shaped. This is a yellow diamond because it measures over 1 carat. The appraiser values this piece at
$20,000 and up. What do you think? Holy mackerel. So you really hit the spot today. You knew what to pick.
I almost didn't bring it.
Next is another beautiful piece of Tiffany jewelry. This necklace belonged to the guest aunt. Made by Tiffany & Company, New York, this necklace is made of 18-karat gold. It is made in a style known as Etruscan Revival.
Many of these Tiffany pieces were made by a French firm for them, Boucheron.
This beautiful jewelry is valued at about
for $25,000.
Oh my goodness. Oh. I'm in shock right now.
We look at luscious jade beads strung together with a classy Tiffany clasp. It's like wearing a little piece of zen and sophistication around your neck. The appraiser is very excited about this collection.
I was so excited because jade is one of my favorite things. In fact, I wear jade rings all the time.
They are jadeite jade. These beads measure only 4 millimeters to 8.1 millimeters. Usually, when jade beads are larger, they're worth more. These jade beads are very translucent, so that's great. The best color of jade is usually emerald green. The appraiser values it at about
I'm going to say $25,000 to $35,000.
My goodness, how wonderful. That is wonderful.
It brings these unique bronze medals she received as appreciation for helping a friend. The medals, which date between 1900 to 1920, were done by fairly well-known artists. These collections were exhibited and sold by museums or societies as a means to get funding.
And I know like the Metropolitan in New York, the National Gallery, the Art Institute in Detroit, they all had their groups.
Each medal has its unique origin and story.
This one is dated 1914, which I think is quite nice. And it has, remember, it's in French, the Marne, which is a famous battle in France, the First World War.
Right.
This medal represents Napoleon III, and it dates from 1904. Another is this beautiful medal made by the artist Paul Manship. Manship is a famous American artist and sculptor maker. The appraiser values them at about...
So altogether, you've got about a $3,000 value here.
Oh my God! I had no idea.
Wonderful.
In 2017, the price rose to $4,000. I estimate a price of around $2,500 to $3,500 today. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Your inner child with this piece. These lovely sets of dolls belonged to the guest mother in the mid-1920s. The dolls were made by the toy maker Albert Schoenhut. Schoenhut made doll houses, toy pianos, and wooden dolls. These dolls are all made of wood and jointed.
They have a steel spring in the arm right there. The heads are gessoed over wood.
The hair is made of either goat or mohair.
This doll was damaged on the leg and her face, so I had her redone.
And that's what they call Schoenhut's dolly face. It's a very normal face, whereas these guys are all character faces.
The appraiser gives information about maintaining the dolls.
You have to be very careful with Schoenhut's. Too much heat, too much cold. That's where you get some of this little bit of chipping.
They are collectively valued at about $3,300 to $4,500.
Oh, that's surprising. I thought they were a couple $100 a piece.
In 2018, the price fell between $2,200 and $2,800. What do you think the price will be today? Let us know in the comments.
Furniture makes her unsure about using it any further, but the appraiser said to her,
"You should."
It was a chest which she had loaned from her boyfriend to store her clothing. The chest was made around 1700 with laburnum veneer, and the form in which the wood appeared on the furniture was called parquetry. Though the leg of the chest had been replaced, the fineness of the piece made it receive a value of...
This would cost you between £12,000 and £15,000.
I'm not sure I'll use it every day now.
It was inherited by the guest from his father. He values it so much that he refuses to wear it. The watch was an 18-carat white gold piece made by Gubelin Lucerne, a watch manufacturing company situated in Switzerland. For a watch of this design and age, its value reached £50,000. Absolutely splendid that he even got a prize for it.
You won't mind me mentioning this, that you actually won a prize.
He replicated the needlework design from the Royal School of Needlework, London, and used it to revamp the brocade of his old chairs that were destroyed. The chairs were made in the 18th century. 6 of them were original, and 4 were reproductions.
So you've got this sort of almost a hybrid in design, but very attractive for that. And there's no question that these are English and provincial and early 18th century. So there's no question of their authenticity.
Total value for the chairs was £14,000.
A collection of baseball items that belonged to Les Nunemaker was brought in by the player's great-great-nephew. Les played baseball with various teams, including the Boston Red Sox. His collection had a lifetime baseball pass, cufflinks, a championship medal.
It's truly a remarkable collection of things, and what a wonderful thing to have in your family. It's just amazing. And looking at the whole collection here, I would insure this for no less than $25,000.
I got a tear in my eye.
And more. By 2018, this collection had almost doubled in value to $45,000. During the Meiji period, one of the few potters that made magnificent pieces and stood out was Kinzoken. Kinzoken had a studio in Kyoto where they made charming Satsuma pieces. The guest's husband received the piece as a gift from his father.
And this is the middle period, around the turn of the century, which is just marvelous.
It was signed with Kinzoken Sakuru, which meant Kinzoken made. Let's see how much it's worth.
That actually is worth about $1,500 to $2,000.
Oh.
With the way this lobster moves, it almost seems alive, but it isn't. It was actually made out of iron during the Meiji period. The precise detail and fine workmanship made the appraiser attribute the piece to Myochin, a Japanese family of armor and helmet makers.
If the Myochin were so good that it doesn't seem likely too many other people could have done one of this quality.
The guest father, who was an armor collector, got the piece during his time collecting. On the show, the piece received a $15,000 value, but by 2018, its value was twice that.
Great.
The tea we drink constantly today, at very little cost, was once a luxury item. This old teapot was passed down by the Guest family for generations, and she intends to maintain status quo even after hearing its tempting value. The pot was made in the 18th century by a silversmith, Elias Pelletreau. Although Elias wasn't very famous, his pieces were fine and remarkable. The teapot's value was $20,000.
That's nice to know.